on December 11th, a way to provide better garbage service to those that are presently have garbage being picked up on Monday. Their new garbage day will be on Wednesday. I'll repeat that. If your garbage is being picked up on Monday, your new day will be Wednesday. The reason for this is that many of our holidays fall on Monday, and which requires us to create makeup days for that, and we will be able to eliminate having to do makeup days by making this change in schedule. Again, we think it's going to be better for the homeowner and those that we're serving, so please pass it on to your neighbors that if you're having your garbage picked up on Monday, it will change to Wednesday on December 11th. Moon Pie Drop, my understanding is that today at 2 o'clock we'll meet on the balcony at the Admiral Sims, and they will announce the headliners for the New Year's Eve celebration. I think Mr. Richardson will probably be there, be my guess. Yes. So join us and find out who the headliner will be for the Moon Pie Drop. Holiday movie in the square is this Friday. Come watch the Muppet Christmas Carol in Cathedral Square and make holiday crafts from 5:30 to 8 this Friday in Cathedral Square. It's a free event for the entire family. Thank you very much. Hope you have a blessed week.
Monthly finance report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We are still not fully closed out for 2016. As you can imagine, there are lots of year-end adjustments that have to be made. And then our auditors will get a chance also to make adjustments. So these are preliminary numbers for 2016, but they do give us some guidance as to how the year may have turned out. As we've been talking about throughout the year, sales taxes have been somewhat below the same period last year and significantly under budget. It looks like we'll have a deficit of about $800,000 in sales taxes into all funds compared with the prior year, 2016. Total revenues are going to be down close to $2 million from 2016 and below budget by about $8.5 million. Offsetting that, expenditures for 2017 look like we'll be under budget by about $11.5 million. When you add the capture of the Zogby Reserve, because we did not have to spend it, we ought to be right at even or very close one side or the other. It's just, I think, a testament to our department heads as to what it meant for them to be able to hold the line on expenditures citywide. I want to also give you a data point. You know, we've talked about the onset of e-commerce, online sales, and what effect that has had and will have on Mobile's sales tax. For Black Friday, 24 hours, it looks like projections are that nationwide there may have been $5 billion with a B dollars spent online for Black Friday. And if you do a rough estimate of what that means to Mobile, that's about $10 million in sales taxes that were either $10 million in sales that were either not taxed or tremendously undertaxed because of the legislation, you know, that we've talked about, the simplified seller's use tax. So that's about $500,000 in sales taxes missed for that one day. That was nationwide about a 16.75% increase in online sales over the same day last year. In brick and mortar store sales nationwide, with preliminary results, it looks like there was about a 1% drop in what people bought by walking into stores and paying non-electronically. So we're not seeing a tremendous drop in brick and mortar activity, but clearly the trend is that all of the growth and a little bit of the loss is going to be as a result of e-commerce. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I don't have a question, but, well, I guess
Mrs.
technically it is a question. Thank you. On the law that was passed that kind of favored counties as opposed to the big urban cities, is there any movement to look at that legislation and ask our delegation to maybe improve it so that the city benefits from that? Is 8% that they put the ring around, and a lot of the businesses, especially the big companies, did go with it rather than wait until something changes?
That's right. Instead of the 10% sales tax that is captured here on brick and mortar sales, of which 4% goes to the state, 1% goes to the county, and 5% goes to the city, the SSUT lets the remote seller drop that to 8%. State still gets their 4%. The counties, in accordance with their populations, get 2%, and the cities get 2% that's divided by population statewide. Our estimate is that for every dollar that an SSUT provider like Amazon pays, we get about 13% of what we would have gotten had they been subject to our sales tax.
Right.
In answer to your question, though, a couple of legislators have expressed surprise at the negative effect that this has had in Mobile, but the author of the legislation, Senator Pittman, has publicly said that he doesn't see any move to change it.
Are other cities, like the 5 large cities, interested in sitting down and working with their delegations?
That is probably a conversation that the mayor will have with the other mayors. We do know that a couple of the cities have understood the magnitude of this problem as we have, and that it's on their minds.
Because we have to provide the service for the person sitting at their home that is doing that online shopping. If they have a heart attack, we're sending our personnel to take care of them.
That's right. As a side note, Alabama law requires that somebody who sits at home and shops online, that they report those sales and pay what's called a use tax on their tax return. Very few people follow that law.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. West.
Thank you.
Adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The agenda is adopted.
Public hearings. Today is a public hearing to determine if the structure at 600 St. Anthony Street is a public nuisance and order it repaired or demolished.
Is there anyone here today that has any commentary relative to 600 St. Anthony Street?
Yes, sir.
All right.
My name is Eric Davidson. I own Duke's Garage, 600 St. Anthony Street. I've been in a protracted legal battle since Hurricane Ivan with the insurance company that had coverage for the wind damage. The case was settled this past April. I have yet to receive the funds because they're in the Alabama Unclaimed Funds Department with a check written out to Colonial Bank, as well as my business. Colonial Bank is no longer in business. BB&T bought them, so I'm trying to get the lawyers with BB&T to get together the auto owner's insurance to get Colonial Bank's name off of the check so they can issue me the check so that I can repair the building. I've also had, 18 break-ins in the last 6 years. They've done a lot of damage. I can't keep up with all the damage. My business has suffered greatly, as y'all can imagine. I'm doing my best. And I have all intentions of repairing the building as soon as I can get my money.
Well, Mr. Davidson, we have Mr. David Doffenbach here. We hear that you want to repair the building, and we understand
Yes, sir.
that you're going through some issues with receiving your insurance fund. Mr. Doffenbach, if you would get with him, raise your hand. If you would get with him, he'll work with you. What we'll be voting on today is to order it repaired or demolished, which is in alignment with what you want to be able to do.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so,
You can just see him after
Right
the
now?
meeting. Yes, sir. Thank you. Anyone else that would like to speak about 1600 St. Anthony?
600.
600, rather, St. Anthony. Public hearing is closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Valinia Green.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I come to speak to you today with a message.
We'll get your name and address, please.
Valina Green, 2732 Lashville Road, Mobile, Alabama, 36605. I have a message. The good Lord told me I had to come here and tell you I'm a victim of domestic violence. I've been dealing with it for the last year. I've been beat, I've been raped, I've been robbed. I have not been able to stay in my own house. I live in Mr. Small's district down by Scenic Drive. It's no precinct in that area. It takes the police sometimes 30 minutes to an hour to get to you. I have had problems with my former husband being in the house in the attic. The last time he came, he came to kill my youngest daughter, that's 17, that's a student at McGill, and myself. It's not the police fault that they take a lengthy time to get there. It's no district there. I fear for my safety, and I fear for my children's safety. I have not been able to stay in my house. I know I have been coming here, talking to many of you, and servicing the community, unable to stay in my house. I receive 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night. Sometimes I've had to stay in my office, fear of going home. My children will not return there. So I come before you.
Mr. Vice President, perhaps I'm mistaken, but I thought Ms. Green had signed up to talk to us about a program to provide Christmas gifts for teens in need.
I have that too. I have several programs under the executive. I signed up to talk about the program and one of the things because this is a new program being launched. That's along with, I have a community development corporation.
Mrs. Green?
Yes.
What we're going to have to ask you to do,
Yes, sir.
and it's not that we're not interested
Oh, I
in
understand.
hearing about your plight,
Yes,
but you signed in to talk about the Christmas gifts for the young people.
yes.
We're going to have to ask you to stick to what you signed.
Okay, I think half of my message got lost when I booked for
But
agenda,
we
but
want
that's
you to
okay.
find it.
Okay.
Right back to the youth and the toys.
Okay. The program we have is called Lily Pad Love, and it is a program that my 17-year-old started when she started dressing young girls for prom. She started it at McGill, and then she asked for it to go on for the children in public school. So last year, she helped needy girls in both the private sector and in public school system as well get ready for prom. She provided brand new prom dresses, brand new shoes, brand new jewelry, and brand new makeup for them to be able to go to prom. Channel 15 covered her story on it. She was on their webpage. She's not here with me today, but she will be for next week because she's supposed to come and speak. She wanted to speak for herself. What she's doing now is she's providing Christmas presents for needy teens. Because of them not being able to be on the Toys for Tots list or the Angel Tree, they're excluded. We provide toys for needy children through Toys for Tots and private donations. But at 14, between the ages of 14 through 18, if they're in school, they're excluded. And there's something wrong about that. I don't believe that's the good Lord's will for us to bring toys to that family and exclude the other children that are in high school. So she's asking for donation and she's petitioning you for help in your districts to help provide that need. We've asked to do 3 gifts with the teenagers. A lot of them we notice have future plans to go on to college. So things that would help them for college would be like comforter sets, that sort of thing, towel sets, that sort of thing that they would need, different items they would need in their dorm room. And the ones with college, we're gonna try to provide when it's time for them to exit, groceries that they could have in their college dorm. So I'm asking if you would help her be able to fulfill that vision. Also, with her, we have found a need with transportation once again, Mr. Manson. We spoke about that. We're petitioning now for help with her for that because I do toys for tots. And I have a hard time with mine, with transportation and everything. She's got the team for her to run her own program. She's in need to be able to get an SUV or a truck to be able to pick up her stuff. Right now, her room is overtaken. Right now, she's got 180 prom dresses in her room.
Yes, ma'am.
So we need a little storage space too for her. I don't have room in my office right now, and then I have a thrift store. So we're asking for that need to be met as well. And I thank you for your time, and I also thank you for your participation.
Yes,
and I anticipate your participation. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Ms. Green, we do have our public safety director. The issue that you were stating earlier, I believe you need to talk to our public safety director.
We talked to Chief Baptiste and Chief and
Public
Barbara.
safety.
They're aware of it already. Have very, very, very good help with them,
Yeah.
always.
Now, the issue that you were stating is not a council matter, it's an administration matter. We are limited, but the administration can really help you with your issue and everything.
Okay.
We just continue to talk to the public safety director and Chief
Okay.
Baptiste.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr.
Ms. Richardson.
Vice President, I would just like to add that if the perpetrator is known, then a warrant needs to be sworn out against that person. If you know who it is committing these atrocious acts, swear out a warrant against that person.
Velma Dale Jackson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I bought my Bible today. It's getting rough. Velma Dale Jackson, 1552 J Drive, Mobile, Alabama, 36605. You should revisit this rule. No one should give their home address in a public place. You have it on the form for your records. All right, I'm here today to talk about the violence among our youth and the crime in the city. Hashtag, it is okay to be white. We are all God's children. I'm not just here to speak, but I'm here to give a solution. It is very simple. There's power in the gospel music. Music is the international language. This is why the enemy uses fame and fortune to sway the great voices from the church, only to destroy them. Many great voices are gone. Rap music is the devil's attempt to stop the music. You cannot celebrate Christmas or Easter without gospel music. We are going to start on Eagle Drive and then go to Area Park in the city. We will cover the city with gospel music. God says, if I be lifted up, prayer and pizza every Friday, Clennell Johnson Center, 1655 Eagle Drive, 3:30 to 4:30. No agenda, just Jesus. I need pizza. It's okay if I say a prayer for the city?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, tomorrow is Wednesday. Y'all need to get him down here. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, our high priest, I come before you throne today, and I speak this blessing over the city of Mobile. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious unto you and lift up his countenance upon you, and may the Lord give you his peace. Lord God, I ask you in the name above every name that you open the windows of heaven and pour out divine provision upon every one of your children. Heavenly Father, in this time of economic crisis, let those who hear this blessing receive the best of things and the worst of things from Jehovah Jireh, the Lord, our provider. I speak and release the health and healing to every physical body. I come against every form of infirmity. I come against every form of sickness and disease. I come against every physical malady in the name of Jesus Christ. And I declare that these sicknesses and diseases are cursed at the root, and that the blessings of divine health freely flow into their lives like streams of living water. Lord, I speak peace to every life that is in torment, for your name is Jehovah Shalom, the Lord our peace. I give you praise, Father, that the enemy has been defeated, and the peace of God that surpasses all understanding has now healed every broken heart. Every sorrow is being lifted right now. Every burden and yoke is being destroyed by your mighty right hand. O Lord our God, you are our joy in the morning. You, O Lord, are our strength, our high tower, our shield, and our butler, a shelter in the time of storm. You are our song. You are our righteousness. You are our shepherd, our great physician, and the giver of life. We magnify your holy name. Let the power of this prophetic blessing rest upon you and in you, and may it be imparted by you as you proclaim the word of God in the authority of Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Williams? Oh, pardon.
Ordinance is held over. 57026, amend Article 8, Section 57 of the City Code to add new provisions for permitting wireless facilities and support structures in the right-of-way.
Motion to hold over 2 weeks.
Second.
Probably motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor, let me know by the sound of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item carries. Item is held over for 2 weeks.
December 12th.
What's the date?
December 12th.
Thank you.
64047, rezone property at 1016 Hillcrest, west side of Hillcrest Road, from R1 and B3 to B3.
So moved.
Second.
It's probably motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item carries.
We have a,
I think last week we received a call from Ms. Irene that said she wanted to move to the next location. Ms. Irene, don't go anywhere.
Well, in light of that, Ms. Antone,
Ms. Anton?
did you have a presentation today?
She did. Yes, sir. Yes.
Well,
It was
let's hear from Ms. Antone.
inadvertently left out of the folder, meeting folder. We have a motion and second. Did we?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we passed.
Okay.
I'm not interested in that.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm sorry about I created this big word, emotion, I guess that's the word. But I hope y'all had a happy Thanksgiving. I ate so much, I'm still full. Irene Anton, 2202 Clinton Street. Dogs. I guess you all got the information. We have a little Wawa, you know, the one little with big eyes. He's in our community, and I feed him. and he's a pretty dog, but when I catch stray dogs, I take them to the pound, and I got reports where I took them to the pound, and everybody seemingly say they want to kill him, but you have, and in our area, people just bring dogs and leave them and go wherever. And a young man have pit bulls, and I play with them. And he stopped coming by our street because he said the pit bulls always want to come up to my house. But anyway, what I'm here for, the little note that I gave you all, they have dog sitters at the pound, and you have a dog, and you don't want him anymore, and he's a good dog, and he's been bathed and shots and everything. Take him to the dog pound so he can be adopted. Don't just throw him away and leave him in the street and all that kind of stuff. And I gave you some information about training, about the training of a dog. I know you all saw the situation where the dog was being trained with his trainer on TV. But take care of them. If you don't want them, don't get them. I have 2 dogs at my house, and I had a dog, the policemen might know about it. The man came and he discovered arms, and if you ever get in the fence, you can't get out. He ain't gonna bother you no other time. I was in church. They came and got me out of church because the dog had ran him up on top of the house. The police had to take him to the hospital. And the policeman asked me he wanted to see that bad dog because he have to report all that to the health department. I said, he's not bad. I said, you're touching him. I said, but you get in that fence, you ain't gonna get out, unless I'm with that person. So I brought that to your attention because we have enough stuff going on right now. You got, what those things are? Raccoons and their babies are coming across the street. My neighbor on Tucker Street said she asked somebody up here, I don't mean you all, I mean somebody in the city, about setting traps. They didn't do that. A lady have the light to see things happening in her yard. Her dog is gone, but it's from that thing that you all say that's out now. What is that?
Coyote.
Coyote. She have that, but that's not in our neighborhood yet. But all of our cats are gone, so we don't know what happened to the cats. So be aware of what's happening to our animals, okay?
Thank you, Ms. Anton.
All right. Be aware.
Consent resolutions held over. 03754, appoint Wanda J. Cochran as council attorney.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Davis.
Thank you. I will be opposing this resolution, and I wanted to say, first of all, that my opposition has nothing to do with the qualifications of Ms. Cochran, which I think are quite in order. My objection to it, I have 2 objections. First, having to do with the way this appointment has been handled from the very beginning. And secondly, because I think that the previous council attorney, Mr. Rossler, had done an excellent job representing the council for the past 17 years. And I don't see any he's a wealth of knowledge with respect to municipal government, and I don't see any reason to have replaced him. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Williams?
I think it would be appropriate for a motion to be made to substitute what was a part of our agenda initially for what we received this morning and is in the clerk's hands. All those changes, additions and deletions were part of a public meeting that happened yesterday in the council meeting. So I would say that what we agreed to and what was presented to us this morning, final draft by the city clerk, is substituted at this time.
I'll second that.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Vice President.
Ms. Gregory?
I, too, am opposing this contract along the same lines that Mr. Daves has just voiced. With this agreement, however, I do agree that having a more formal written type of an agreement or contract is a very good step going forward into the future. However, it was something that we could have had with our former attorney had he been asked to supply one. In this agreement, just to go over what we are voting on now, we've addressed some concerns to everyone's satisfaction, I believe, about how we communicate with the attorney, along with some questions about how we request formal written opinions or informal opinions, as well as investigations. We all wanted to be sure that all council members have the same access to our attorney that we've always had in the past. Ms. Cochran has been very forthcoming and upfront in her answers, and she has said that she intends to reach out to our former council attorney, Jim Rossler, to be sure to update herself on any upcoming litigation or ongoing litigation, as well as projects that Mr. Rossler was involved in, especially those working in coordination with the administration, probably most notably the overhaul of our zoning ordinances, which is ongoing right now, and it's something we are all very interested in. And again, with all that said, I was in opposition to firing Mr. Rossler and in hiring Ms. Cochran in the first place, especially the way it was done at a public meeting where Mr. Rossler had no forewarning that his employment with the city was coming to an end. Mr. Rossler worked for this council for 17 years. He was a friend and supporter to us all, and he deserved better than what he got.
I'd just like to remind the chair that what is before us right now is a motion to substitute.
Yes, sir. Any discussion
Yes.
on the substitution?
Yes, thank you very much.
Mrs. Rich?
And I concur that we are looking at a revision of what was the initial draft given to all council members after our lead counsel was selected by 4 members of this council at our organizational meeting. And I'm very pleased by the dialogue that took place yesterday. I thought it was very open and transparent for everyone present. And I appreciated all council members that were present adding and wanting clarification, because that really gives us guidance that we did not have in the past. And so I'm hoping that the council members who are in disagreement, and I certainly respect their disagreement or their concerns that they have expressed, as we each represent our offices, we have every right to take a position on an agenda item. So I respect that, and I do hope that moving forward that this is a positive change and one that everyone embraces and is the best for the communities that we each serve. So thank you.
Any further discussion on the substitution? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
That a substitute motion passes. I heard 5 ayes and 1 in opposition. That's the vote. I heard 5 ayes and 1 in opposition.
Talking about what contract is going to be in place.
On that, this is on the substitute. Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure everybody knows what they're voting on.
Vote by hand.
You did?
I voted for the substitution.
Oh, wonderful. 6 to 1 then. Now we'll vote on the item that's on the agenda. Do I hear a motion?
That motion is already made. What in the world?
That's quite a motion.
Any discussion?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Mr. Small?
Mr. Williams first.
Okay.
Mr. Williams, I'm sorry. Mr. Williams?
Thank you very much. I think that what is before us is not a matter of whether or not Ms. Cochran is going to serve as our attorney, essentially. That the council really has already spoken. Maybe not a formal vote as such, but we were trying to put a contract in place that will apply to any of our future attorneys. I too was appalled at the manner in which we conducted ourselves at that organizational meeting with regard to the public embarrassment, if you will, a longtime employee and friend of this council. But that's behind us. It is absolutely behind us. And now it is time to go forward and to do so in a way that I believe should have been in place all along, and that is with a formal contract that spells out exactly what is expected of all parties. And this document does a great job of that, and I will vote in the affirmative. Thank you.
Mr. Small.
Thank you, Vice President Manzi. I'm very surprised this morning to hear, a couple of my colleagues stating the way it was done. I can say the way it was done 4 years ago, when we was sick before we got sworn in, is that we did go behind closed doors, and we did talk about the president, the vice president of the council, and also the attorney of the council. The way it was done 4 years ago is that when we was behind closed doors, it took, we all say that it took 4 people, 4 council people to vote for a president, but now it's talking about 5. The way it was done 4 years ago behind closed doors, we said that it took 4 council members to vote in for a vice president. Now we're saying 5. 4 years ago, we did go behind closed doors. There were certain council members decided not to go behind closed doors this time. And so therefore we had to have a public meeting. All of this could have been squashed behind closed door if we had followed tradition, but tradition was broken. And so it's therefore, since tradition is broken, things had to come out in the light. The president is a leader, and next Wednesday will be 1 month that this council have not had a president. So I'm asking the vice president, if this was to pass this morning, the first thing I ask him to do is to reach out to the attorney, Mrs. Cochran, which I know that she's very qualified for her job, to go ahead and render an opinion where we can go ahead and get us a president, for this council can move on, we can continue with the city business. And again, I am very surprised to hear the way it was done by a couple of my council members. Remember the way it was done 4 years ago. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Small. And Ms. Cochran is well aware that her #1 most important issue for her to begin deliberation on and end it as expeditiously as possible is this issue. We've stated that from day one. We reiterated it every week, and I'm looking forward to her bringing that information forward once we finalize this particular agenda item.
Mr. Vice President.
Mr. Richardson, and then Mr. Davis.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, we handle our attorney's business like we handle all other business, by vote of this council. Whatever else you want to say about the discussion, how it was done, it was done by vote of this council. That's how we transact all of our business. What's really being said is that we don't like who you picked. We changed our mayors, we changed out our vote. Went to the poll and voted. Whoever said they liked the outgoing mayor can say it. We have a new mayor. Whoever said they liked the outgoing attorney, we have a new attorney. And we got this new attorney by vote of this council. The council was carrying out its official business. Might not like it, but it's official.
Mr. Davis.
Inasmuch as it appears that Ms. Cochran is going to be elected the council attorney, or that we're going to provide a contract to Ms. Cochran, and obviously the primary issue that is before her at this particular point is this question of how many votes it takes to elect a president and vice president of the council. I'd like to know if she has an idea of when she'll be able to render that opinion.
Mrs. Cochran?
I think we need a voter in first.
2 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
That's fair.
I mean, I'm not trying to set a permanent deadline. I was just trying to get a ballpark idea.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the agenda item before us, let me know by the sound of aye.
Aye.
All in opposition?
No.
Opposed?
The motion passes. Vote of 5-2.
Mr. Vice President?
Yes, ma'am.
I did vote in opposition. However, it was a foregone conclusion that the contract was going to pass and that Ms. Cochran had already been hired to be the council's attorney. And as Mr. Williams stated, moving forward, we know what we have to do, and we will be working with Ms. Cochran. And now that you are truly official, contract in hand, we welcome you aboard and look forward to working with you.
It was double for me.
Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. Ms. Cochran, I'm sure you're going to find that this is a council of professional-minded people. We know you are a capable, competent attorney, and that we look forward to working with you during the duration of our relationship. Welcome aboard.
37756, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a restaurant retail liquor license for Siam Thai Cuisine on Hillcrest Road.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
I would just like to point out, especially to the owners, I don't know if they're present in our audience or listening, but this was an agenda item held over from last week because the police report giving approval, disapproval, or asking for council's deference on the application was not in the packet, and it did come after the council and they did approve it. So I asked the council to also support this initiative.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item carries.
CIP resolutions held over. 21760, authorized contract with Neil Schaefer for 2018 CIP Harbor Drive, Darwood Drive, Farnell Drive, ditch and drainage repairs.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
21761, authorized contract with J Hunt Enterprises, general contractors for Sullivan Park erosion and field condition improvements.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? I'd like to just reference that these are much-needed field condition improvements at the Thomas Sullivan Community Center. The Peters Park Athletic Department is a part of the Sullivan Center community. They've asked for these amenities for a long time, and I'm happy to see that this agenda item is moving forward. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item carries.
Resolutions held over. 01763, authorized foreign trade zone operator agreements with FMC Corporation to utilize Site 2 of the general purpose zone as a foreign trade zone.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
01764, authorized memorandum of understanding with the Mobile County Commission to provide funding to the City of Mobile to employ a part-time art instructor at the County Hudson Mobile Regional Senior Center.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
Yes.
Mrs. Rich?
Thank you. I know this is just to ratify this MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, but anytime money moves out of our treasury, either to another government agency or from another government agency, it's up to the council to affirm that understanding of what the money is to be utilized for. And I'd like to take this time to thank the administration for helping to organize this and getting this part-time art instructor out at the Connie Hudson Senior Center. That position has been open since, I believe, May of 2016, and it was sorely missed because it was a really well-loved and well-received program. The city was not willing to fund the particular part-time employee, but Ms. Hudson came forward with county funds and moved money over to our city's treasury so that the city could indeed hire the individual, and I understand that person's already in place, and so I urge the council to ratify this particular MOU, which is a very positive thing for anybody using that senior center.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
21765, authorized contract with PPM Consultants for Broadwood Drive area drainage repairs.
So moved.
Second. Properly motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
21766, authorized contract with Tyndall Construction for Lad Peoples Stadium roofing and interior improvements.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
25767, grant easement to Alabama Power for one pole guide, wire anchor, and one new underground cable under Scott Street.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
47768, assent to the vacation of a right-of-way on the south side of Old Shell Road, west of Alverson Road, and north of Monk Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
Consent resolutions being introduced for the first time, 03784 through 58774.
Motion for the suspension of the rules for immediate consideration of resolutions 03784 through 58774.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
If there's no objection, I'll take the first two together. 03784 and 785, reappoint Edward Ladd to the Infirmary Health System Special Care Facilities Financing Authority of Mobile, and reappoint Wayne Dean Sr. and Duxie Luxembourg to the History Museum of Mobile Board.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? I'd just like to thank Mr. Wayne Dean Sr. for his continued interest in serving District 2 on the History Museum of Mobile Board.
And if I could comment?
Yes, Mrs. Rich.
Thank you, Vice President. I, too, would like to thank Darby Luxembourg for coming forward. She's a longtime staple on that History Museum Board, and I'm thrilled that she represents District 6 in that position.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
37770, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a nonprofit tax-exempt license for Moon Pie Overmobile in Bienville Square Park.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor, sign of aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
If there's no objection, I'll take the next four together. 40771, declare the structure at 600 St. Anthony Street a public nuisance and order it repaired or demolished. 58772 and 773, authorize removal of weeds, groups 1570 and 1571, and 58774, assess cost for removal of weeds, repeat weedling group G12.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Items passed.
CIP resolutions being introduced for the first time, 21775.
My council rules this resolution will hold for 1 week.
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 09776 through 31783.
All said resolutions will hold for 1 week by council rules.
Announcements.
Let's start.
Mr.
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
The Mobile City Council will meet on December 19th at the History Museum of Mobile at its regular time, 10:30.
Start with Mr. Williams.
I have nothing, thank you.
Mr. Small.
Thank you, Vice President Manzi. I'd like to say special thanks to Mr. Rick Johnson at the new spot on Hallsmere Road on last week. He had issued out to the community several hundreds of dinners for Thanksgiving. It was a great attendance of the community coming by, and again, he spent all the funds out of his pocket, and I'd like to thank him again for doing that for the community. Talking about the holidays, we have several holiday events coming up in the district. We do have postcards going out this next week. But the first thing that we have is on December the 12th, which is a Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. at the Palmer Pillins Middle School. We will have our community holiday celebration, inviting all of the community leaders, our first responders to come out for plenty of food, drinks, and entertainment. This year we have several schools that will be entertaining the district this year. and from singing to plays. We also will be collecting non-perishable items for this event to our elderly residents that don't have anyone at Christmas. Please consider bringing a donation. Items suggested as socks, toothbrushes, toothpaste, pajamas, house slippers, unflavored lip balm, unscented lotion, and baby powder, blanket, hair brushes, and combs. Again, this event, it will be on Tuesday, December the 12th at 6:30 p.m. at the Palmer Pillins Middle School, inviting the whole community out. I understand that District 1 and 2 and 7 is having a holiday event, but this is going to be the best one in the city. I guarantee you that.
Well.
Also, on Saturday, December 16th, we will have the Parades of Threes. Will be coming down Dolphin Island Parkway at 2:00 p.m., starting at the BC Rain High School, and we will end up at Palmer Pillins Middle School. Again, this is Saturday, December 16th at 2:00 p.m., inviting all the citizens, not just in District 3, but throughout the city of Mobile, to come on Dolphin Island Parkway on the 16th of December for a beautiful parade. This is one of the best, I want to say the only parade, Christmas parade we do have in the city of Mobile. Every year it gets better and better and better. People talk about it for months. People have been talking about this parade since July, getting excited in the community. This does bring an excitement down on Dolphin Island Parkway because of the attention that it gets. And remember that District 3 is a place where things are happening. Thank you, Vice President Manzi.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Richardson?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. If you notice, Councilman Small didn't say anything about how big his parade was going to be, because he knows that we have 53,000 people at the Trinity Gardens Parade. And I'll challenge any community in the city of Mobile, I don't care where it is, to come up with 50, it's not about 5,000 people living in Trinity Gardens. We have 53,000 people at the Trinity Gardens Parade. I'll challenge you to hook up with 2 other communities and come up with 53,000 people. Now,
y'all been around 100 years.
All right. The mayor has already made the announcement regarding a change in garbage pickup service, but I want to reiterate for the citizens in District 1. That's starting December the 11th, the week of December 11th. The garbage for District 1 will be picked up on Wednesdays. In the past, it was Mondays. It's going to change to Wednesdays, the week of December the 11th. I want to ask, Paul, do you know what the notices will be sent out to the residents?
Yes.
I don't know exactly when, but we're certainly going to do everything we can so that every resident who's affected has actual notice.
Okay, I know we're putting it on social media, putting it in my newsletters, but I would hope that they would be individually notified. Also, this is a big change, and citizens get real concerned about garbage, real concerned. But anyway, I want to make sure that they know that starting the week of December 11th, there will be a change. Today, the mayor has already announced this too, but today, Events Mobile will be holding a news conference at the Bell House second floor, and they're going to announce who the premier entertainer will be for the moon pie drop this year. You know, around 11 o'clock, we have may have a number of people performing, but we have a special performer leading up to 12 o'clock. And it's always going to be some national performer. And today at 2 o'clock, they're going to announce who that person is. The public is invited to come to the Bell House today at 2 o'clock. I'm certainly inviting all council members to and the mayor to join us over there for this grand event. They have other information they're going to pass out, but the main thing they're going to do today is announce who the premier entertainer is going to be. I would like to further announce that the Public Service Committee will meet on Monday, December the 11th at 10:30 a.m. In the council conference room. This meeting will take up ordinance 57026 to amend that ordinance, Article 7, Section 57 of that ordinance, to change the code to permit wireless facilities in the city's right of way. So would like for the committee on all council members, anybody interested in this subject, to please join us on Monday, December 11th at 10:30 a.m. in the council conference room on this important committee meeting. Thank you,
Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I want to announce that there will be a special committee meeting tomorrow afternoon at 2:00 p.m. in order to review and discuss changes to the city's property maintenance code. That'll be tomorrow, 2:00 p.m. in the council conference room. Thank you.
Mrs. Rich.
Thank you very much. Tomorrow, Wednesday, they'll be decorating the tree. The foundation will be at the Connie Hudson Senior Center. Feel free to come up and help as well. They always need extra hands. That'll be at 3 o'clock tomorrow, getting ready for the holiday season. Speaking of which, that organization, or the Connie Hudson Senior Center rather, is collecting socks for seniors, and they will accept new socks until December 11th, and then there's a holiday breakfast December 13th at 9 a.m., and I invite my colleagues to join me as we celebrate the holidays, and also mention again to the mayor that citizens would love to see each and every one of you there in order to play the games. Don't just leave it to me. I might disappoint them, but it's really a fun breakfast, and that will be on December 13th at 9 a.m. At Our Savior Church on Cody Road, there's an event celebrating both Advent and Hanukkah, and that will take place at 7 p.m. this Saturday. Also, I would like to wish everyone a very happy holiday season as we go into it. I hope that Thanksgiving was memorable for everyone and that you enjoyed your time. And this is a wonderful time to look at programs that give gifts to people in need, or today I believe is Giving Tuesday for groups, and that's all over the internet where people match donations. So pay attention to that, and again, I hope the holiday season is bright and cheerful for everyone in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gregory.
Thank you. In Alpine Hills, the beautification committee in that neighborhood is circulating through the neighborhood looking for houses with the most festive Christmas holiday decorations. So if you live over in the Alpine Hills neighborhood, get your decorations up and out, because the judges are looking for a lucky winner that will be awarded in mid-December. I don't know what the prize is just yet. That is yet to come, so you still got a little bit of time throughout till mid-December to get your decorations up and out. Also, this coming Saturday, I think the council members know about this, but that's December 2nd at the Mobile Museum of Art. It is the free weekend out there, and there will be entertainment by Crown Jewels and Jamel Richardson, food trucks, guided tours, poetry, and much more. So come on out about noon to be with us for this wonderful event at the Mobile Museum of Art. Again, it is a free weekend at the Mobile Museum of Art. Coming up on December 5th, I have my annual Christmas meeting, and I do want to just clear something up with my colleagues from Districts 1, 2, and 3. I've been having these Christmas get-togethers for 12 years, so I think you guys are maybe following in my footsteps on the Christmas meeting, but I'll imitation is, what do they call that? The best sort of praise. But at any rate, I will be having my annual Christmas meeting December 5th at the Mobile Museum of Art. We are collecting gifts for the children at Wilmer Hall, as we always do. The list of needs is on our Facebook page, as well as the postcards that we already sent out. We also will be recognizing our public safety officers, as well as the community action groups and neighborhood associations in the district. And the choir from Mary B. Austin will be there to entertain this year, so a little something extra. And of course, we will have plenty of refreshments and good cheer. That's all on December 5th. The The mayor and Mr. Richardson mentioned about the garbage pickup, and postcards will be going out. Ms. Steinfels, who works in our department, along with Laura Byrne and the mayor's office, are working together to make sure that everyone in both my district and Mr. Richardson's district get those postcards, because he is right. If the garbage isn't picked up, our telephones will be ringing. So we want everyone to understand that as of the week of December 11th, garbage pickup is on Wednesday rather than Monday. So thank you, Mr. Vice President, and that is it.
Well, I want to start my announcements by announcing the youngest Christmas. It's the youngest, but I believe it's the best. It'll be held on December the 7th at the VIA Center, and we'll be recognizing leaders in our community. If you feel you are a leader in District 2, you are welcome. By virtue of you entering the building at 6 o'clock on December 7th, you are re-signing yourself up to be a leader for 2018. We need all our street captains, all of our community leaders to be there. We've had a wonderful time over the last 2 years. This is our third effort, and it's led by the Neighborhood Association presidents in District 2. So all leaders in District 2 and all the persons interested in being a leader in District 2, you are welcome December 7th at the VIA Center on Dolphin Street. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize all of my fellow clergymen. I see and women that are here today. I believe they're members of the Interdenominational Ministerial Alliance. I just want to recognize you for all that you do. I see our former moderator, Moderator McFarland, our newly elected moderator, Moderator Frazier of the Sunlight District Baptist Association, and look forward to continuing to work with you all. Also have two distinguished residents from the Plateau community, Mr. Harry Austin and Mr. Cleon Jones. Glad to see both of you all here. Appreciate all that you all do in our communities. On Thanksgiving, Mr. Cozy Brown, who operates a business in a neighboring city, Cozy Brown's Kitchen fed about 300 or 400 individuals for Thanksgiving. And his public relations individual, the lady that really gets the word out so that individuals who are in need of subsistence on Thanksgiving can come to his place, is here, Ms. Frances Lewis. She invited me to come and to present a proclamation from the city. Due to some family obligations, I was not able to attend, but I'm going to make certain to get that to him. But I do want to recognize Ms. Lewis. For about 30 years. She's been working with him to get the word out about that Thanksgiving effort, and we want to appreciate you for what you do with Mr. Brown. Thank you. Any further announcements? Any further announcements from the administration? Do I hear a motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor? Meeting adjourned.